One moment, please. There we go. There I am. Hi. I don't know what changed. Anyway, gonna move myself over here. Resize a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why my model's freaking out. But anyway, hi. Is chat visible? Where's the chat widget? Hang on. Testing. Okay, there it is. Good. Okay. Anyway. Yep, today is a great day. Or at least a fairly quiet one. So at this time, well, on this day last year, I had my first successful live stream. And since then, I've built something of a community. I apologize if it looks like my eyes are twitching out. I'll figure it out in a bit. Okay, ads are going, but I will bear with it. And honestly, I wish I could figure out how to shrink chat without it breaking too badly. But I'll deal. It's fine. But yeah, today's I'll be real, I'm tired. But I didn't want my 1-year Streamiversary to slip by without my doing anything. So, I'm just gonna do a little bit of stuff. Okay, while I'm waiting for ads to finish, I'm gonna check what that message was. Okay, that was coworker. Alright. Okay. Yeah. I do appreciate... Thank you, sorry bot, for letting me know the ads are done. Anyway, yeah, I didn't want today to slip by without acknowledging that it was my Streamiversary, so I figured I would do just a small watch-along to a couple of other videos, because last time I had it just chatting, I had watched 4 videos. 3 of them connecting to the Sky Hybrid War, or Skybrid War for short, and 1 connecting to the Great Hybrid Tournament. Now, I'll start by talking about the Great Hybrid Tournament. I'm actually not going to watch any more videos for that, mainly because Valis Dreadmere isn't making videos anymore. That tournament is over. So... Oh, and my submission had not made it. It hadn't even made it to the top 32, I believe. But I'm fine. But I'm still waiting to find out how long it'll take me to appear in the Sky Hybrid War. The Sky Hybrid War has... It still only has 3 episodes. Episode 4 is still... Well, I will let Name Reborn explain it.
Hello! Welcome to Skybridge Shorts. Okay, let me explain, although it should be pretty obvious by now, that episode 4 of the Skybridge Wars is taking way too long to come out.
Yep.
The last episode was in October 2025. At the time of recording this, it is March 2026. That's way too long of a wait, and that's just me being very rude to my audiences, asking them to wait this long for one episode out of 20 episodes. That is insane.
Wow.
I think one of the reasons it takes so long for an episode to come out is because I put so many hybrids, so many teams in one episode, and it's just a lot of work. A lot of judging, a lot of artwork, a lot of talking. It's just so much work. So whenever me or my judges or my artists look at the work, they just look at it and say, I'll do it tomorrow. And it just keeps getting pushed back, and not to mention just real life stuff that goes on. That's why things get pushed back so long. And again, that won't do. So my solution? We do things one at a time. While the main episodes, I still have like a bunch of episodes planned out they will continue and they will come out. I will also take the teams that are at the back of the list, the bottom of the playlist, and the ones that I've bunched up in episode 20 and onward and whatnot. Well, it's just episode 20, and then 19, 18, you get the idea. Reverse countdown. We'll cover those teams backwards, and we'll cover them in one short video like this one, so that, believe it or not, doing this one by one will get things faster, because it's just like my judges will see one team to judge and they'll be like, oh, I can just do that right now, and then I can just make a video on it right now. And yeah, here we are.
I do like this. I like this idea. I don't think my team is going to appear in one of these because mine's a joke team. So this would be for serious judging, but yeah, I do like it.
With our first hybrid team for the Skybridge Shorts, accompanied by two brothers. Let's see if I can see it right here. I believe one is Sonic and the other one is Winds. Each individual weighs 80 pounds, so I think it should be fine to let all three of them fight Team Mimic at the same time. The genome consists of Pelagornis, Peregrine Falcon, Woodpecker, Bar-tailed Godwit, Bearded Vulture, Raven, Diomadabai, I think that's just the Wandering Albatross, or like an albatross, Rhinoceros, Red-tailed Hawk, Red-billed Wheelless? What? Harpy Eagle, Hero Shrew, Saltwater Crocodile, and Siberian Roe Deer. So what we have here is a Pelagornis that is optimized for speed, especially diving. Some pretty strong offensive weapons, being the Harpy Eagle Talons, and a beak and talons, reinforced by Rhino Keratin. Now that's an interesting way to harden a beak.
Certainly is.
And an important thing to note is that he lists the stomach acid defense as a defense. Most teams usually advertise it as an offensive weapon, like their go-to move, which is, obviously spitting out your lunch is not a comfortable thing to do. It's something they would like the last resort kind of move. But since so many teams use that as like the opening move, kind of like deduct some points. There'll be more information on that in the actual episode 4 of Skybridge Wars. Paleon also brought up an interesting positive about this hybrid, that the weight of the Woodpecker beak combined with the weight of the Harpy Eagle talons will act as a counterbalance and keeps this thing, not top heavy or back heavy, which makes for better stability during flight. Unfortunately, Flash is not going to rank very high due to the fact that he relies very heavily on non-avian contributors. Now, of course, there are some non-avian contributors in other hybrids that pretty much work. But this is an example of how not to use a few of them, like the use of the Hero Shrew for a flexible spine. That is a spine for a land-dwelling animal, and he's putting it on the back of a flying animal, which is not going to mesh very well. Also, the addition of crocodile scales is going to make this thing weigh a lot more than 80 pounds. Honestly, with the bone structure, that could also shift the weight into a heavier thing, which will mean that one of Flash's brothers is going to have to sit out the match because then they're too heavy. But the real kicker is what Paleon said about the red build Quilus. I have no idea how to say that. Basically, he says, I'm going to read what he says. Work by heating up their internal systems to match the temperature of the outside atmosphere for heat resistance. In turn, you're cooking yourself. Literally. Tuna alone produce enough heat that they literally cook their own meat when fighting fishermen. Who knows what's going to happen when a bird going supposed 140 miles per hour is suffering from.
Say, something is burning around here.
Because Flash & Co. is most likely going to turn itself into Kentucky Fried Chicken during the match, I think that alone is enough to justify why this team ranks in Epic tier. Any Skybert team that I rank in the Skybert shorts will not be put on the main fridge. They will instead be put on the second place winner for my fridge competition, which is Master Dragon's Armadillo Fridge. Like, if you basically swapped out certain mammal and, terrestrial components that really affect the internal body of this bird and replace them with, avian equivalents, like, you're probably not going to get an exact match, but something that could closely match those, then you could have ranked a bit higher. Also, remove the bird that literally cooks it from the inside. But that's it for this episode of the Skybert Shorts, and I'll see you in the next one. I don't know, maybe this one's going to be a little longer than the others because I had to spend a little time explaining what this mini-series is going to be and how it's connected to the main series. And I imagine the other ones are going to be like 4 minutes long or something like that. Depends on how things go in the future. But for now, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning.
Yeah, I'm glad he's making these. Yep, he's got one other that he made. And starting it up now.
Hello, welcome to another Skybert War short. In this episode, we will be covering Meet Big Raga, Big Raga 2, and Dromodon. Here are their genomes. You can read them yourself, because otherwise this will be too long of a short if I read them myself. Now, due to lack of clarity of what each animal in the genome does, it made it easier for the judges to basically just be harsh on these guys and just say, oh, it doesn't say what this thing is for, and why it changed the wing shape, or why this thing specifically was added over other creatures, and which basically allowed them to just say, oh, we can, call them weaknesses and whatnot. However, a lot of weaknesses that Big Raga and Dromodon have are quite synonymous with weaknesses found within my own Skybrids. And obviously, Team Blinding Light can't just take the fall when Team Mimic are basically getting away with this stuff as well. Therefore, if my hybrids are getting away with this stuff, then so are yours.
That's fair. Yeah, if someone's making a tournament like this and their own creatures are getting away with something, no fair deducting points from another team because they're doing the same thing. Yeah.
How Big Raga says they have eyesight from the Harpy Eagle and reaction time of the Peregrine Falcon, which just is impossible. Those both come from the eyes. You cannot have both at the same time. It's the same thing with Maggie. She has Golden Eagle vision and Peregrine Falcon vision, which just doesn't make sense. Although honestly, she doesn't have Golden Eagle vision. Peregrine Falcon eyes are red, just like Maggie's eyes are red, which means she has the reaction time vision, and the Golden Eagle has just been sitting there redundant this whole time. It hasn't been adding anything to Maggie at all.
It torments me.
I do not get this reference.
No matter. This isn't about that.
And in Big Raga's case, since their eyes are yellow, that means they have the Harpy Eagle vision as listed and do not have the Peregrine Falcon reaction time. However, Big Raga and Big Raga 2 do have other weaknesses that hold them back just a wee bit. Not enough to completely demolish them, but just enough to hold them back from peak efficiency. The Choniraptor feet have Harpy Eagle talons, and as we mentioned with Reaper in episode 2, that is not going to be too great, because that means because Eagle talons are a lot longer, putting them on Raptor feet is going to cause some stability issues, or just some issues with mobility issues. That's the word I'm looking for. But again, it's hard to fully judge these two individuals, as in their individual genomes, because of the lack of clarity within what each creature does. As for Dromodon, the only big thing that I really took away from the judges was the increase of the tail from the Dimorphodon, because larger pterosaurs had short tails because they didn't really need tails for steering and stability. So therefore, this one might just be increasing drag or something. But it's not something that's going to be like detrimental to this hybrid. In terms of offensive weapons, I'd say Dromodon is solid. Of course, the opponents are currently not big enough for him to utilize his grabbing mechanics, because then he will fall too. Same goes with Vault. They're quite sort of equal, but with one key difference. That being that Dromodon, because of the way his beak is shaped, is more built for stabbing attacks rather than Vault's hammer attacks. And with the quills basically making it a little harder for Vault to just fully hammer into him. He can still hammer, but not fully. He's going to get hurt in the process. Meanwhile, Dromodon, he can get past the fish scales pretty easily just with a single strike. But unfortunately, with the big Ragas tripping over their own toes, and the conflicting wings, there's 3 different contributors to the wings, I think. There's the Choniraptor base, then there's Argentavis, and Goshawk, which creates how does this thing perform really? It's really hard to judge. So it's going to be harder for them to join the battle, and therefore Dromodon is most likely going to be fighting Maggie and Vault alone, which is not good since he's not that much bigger than other pterosaurs. Here are my recommendations for how to make this team more efficient, specifically changes to Big Raga. I would recommend making them smaller than they already are. Stick with the Choniraptor base. Ditch all of the stuff that makes it bigger, and just stick with the stuff that just make it faster. Add things that'll help it be a better, at gliding, or even just flying, because at that size you can actually make it a pretty good flyer. And then once it's smaller, because Dromodon is the same size as Vault and Maggie, then you can bring in 4 Choniraptors, 4 little Ragas instead of 2 big Ragas. Then Team Blinding Light will be able to utilize the strategy of 4 little guys basically just being a nuisance for Team Mimic, causing some little cuts here and there while they're trying to catch them. Then Dromodon can come in and just spear at least one of them. Still not as efficient as another team that we'll see later on. In fact, this is kind of a combination of multiple teams that we see in episode 4, which isn't out yet, by the way. And that's a little spoiler, I guess. So basically, you'll see the better version of these teams in episode 4. Yeah, the judges said that these guys should be in epic rank or lower, according to Paleon. But I'm gonna go with the epic rank. So yeah, it's a solid pick. It's a solid entry. It just needs a bit of ironing out, just a bit more specification of what everything does in the genome, and then maybe even remove certain parts of the genome to make it more efficient. Yeah, and that's all for this short. See you in the next one. Goodbye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning to end. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel and join the Zen Reborn community. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Yep, that was fun. Now, there is a new tournament type thing coming out. It is called the Hybrid Battle Royale, and they did make a video about it. But this different channel entirely. Their name is Baku Industries, or Baku for short. I'm not gonna queue up that video because, honestly, I find Baku really difficult to listen to. Oh, ads. Okay, I'll wait out the ads. Okay, are we back? Okay, I think we're back. But yeah, I wasn't going to watch Baku's video about his hybrid battle royale because I find Baku really hard to listen to. The gist of the battle royale is that it's gonna be a little competition just between a bunch of hybrid creators, and the contestants, it's one per person, and that one has to be 100 grams or less. So people on various Discord servers would probably remember seeing something. Here, let me try to find it. Let's see, where did I post it? Okay, I found it. Yeah, people would remember seeing this guy. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be my submission once he's done. I just need to make a video about him. But yeah, consider that a teaser for a future video. Today was going to be a shorter stream to begin with. I'm tired, I have a bit of a headache, but like I said at the start of stream, I didn't want my Streamiversary to go by. Yep, it's a snack. Yeah, I didn't want my Streamiversary to go by without acknowledging it. And since it did land on one of the 5 days that I told myself I want to be streaming every now, like I'm only doing one stream a week, but there are 2 days where I cannot stream at all because my schedule doesn't allow it at all. But since my Streamiversary did land on one of the 5 days where I could stream, I wanted to stream. So just acknowledge the anniversary's existence. I do thank all of you for coming together as piece of a community. It's a small community, almost more of an offshoot of other streamers' communities, but it's a small one, and I hope that we do still have a lot of fun here. That's really all I wanted to say, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if there really is anything else that I was going to say, do, or watch. So I could call it here, honestly. Let's see, I'm gonna see if there are any, well, since you're here, Galaxy, do you have any raid suggestions? Thank you, Coffee. Nobody that I watch is live, so if you have any suggestions, I'd appreciate it. Is that the name of a YouTube channel? Is that the name of a Twitch channel? Yeah, the Tapperverse is gonna have some fluffy specs, just by how I'm building things. I'm still working on making sure that they are relatively solid, but yeah. let's see. Ah, I was going to my raid messages. I was thinking of having my raid message be like anniversary raid. I don't know, but I still need a raid target. Because, yeah, like I said, nobody that I follow is live at the moment. Okay. Alright, I guess I'll just pick somebody. Let's see. Let's see if I can find... I'm gonna see if there are any crafters going right now. Oh. What was that? Oh, that's all. Okay, let's see. Well, I found a crocheter. Okay, let's raid, let's see if I can figure out how to read this. Aeoni Avalon. They're currently making a blanket with crochet. I don't dare crochet something as big as a blanket. So kudos to her. Anyway. Okay, and yep. Sorry for anyone who just came in. I'm raiding out. I wasn't going to stream for very long. Today was gonna just be a small stream. Anyway. The raid message could be whatever. So yeah. Have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a happy Easter tomorrow. And I'll see you all whenever I stream next. Bye.